me to help us understand decimals. So a few important vocabulary words that we need to go over before we begin are the words tenth, hundredth, decimal point, and decimal. So I'm going to write this number on the board, and I'm going to use this to help explain our vocabulary terms today. So if this is the number I am working with, okay, it's important to notice that I have a decimal point. This is a decimal point. A decimal point comes to the right of the ones place value. This is my ones. Okay? So previously we have been working to the left of the place value. We've been getting greater and greater and greater each time we go to the left. Today as we go to the right will be the opposite. We will be getting smaller and smaller place values. That means each place value is worth less than the one before it. So this is my decimal point, and the word decimal refers to the decimal and any digits that follow it. Okay, so 25 hundredths is my entire decimal. Okay, now within that I have decimal place values. So my first decimal place value that I have, it's to the right of the decimal, is the tenths. Now it's important to know this is not the tens, this is the tenths. The tenths place value. It comes behind the decimal. It is less than 1. So it is not a whole number. Okay? It is not an entire whole. It's a part or a piece. The next place value I have within my decimal is I'm going to draw a little line down here so we don't get confused, the hundredths. Now again, this is not the hundreds place value. This is the hundredths place value. It is even less than the tenths. So again, this is not a whole. It's behind the decimal point, so it is not a whole. So we've gone over decimal point and decimal, and the tenths place value and the hundredths place value. So to help us understand a little bit better, I have a hundreds flat. You have probably used these in your math class. So we are going to say that this is one whole hundreds flat. This is 1. Okay, this is not 100. This is 1. It's like I zoomed in on a 1. Okay, so my tenths place right here, my tenths place is 1/10 of my whole. Okay, so I put a tenth. I'm not sure if you can see that. I hope you can. Okay, if I had 10 of these, I could lay them flat and it would make one whole. Okay, so my tenths place is 1/10 of my whole. Okay, my hundredths place is 1/100th of my whole. It would take 100 of these to fill up and make one whole. Okay, so this represents 1/10. This represents 100th. So what if I had 3 of these tenths? I have 3 of these tenths and I lay them down. How much would I have? Okay, I would have 3/10. I'd have 3/10. What if I had 6 of these little tiny hundredth pieces and I laid them flat? How much would I have? If I had 6 of them, I would have 6 hundredths. Okay? So this is just a visual to help you understand the tenths and the hundredths place value. We can also use money to help us. Money is super helpful when trying to understand decimals because we are already familiar with that and using cents. Alright, so $1 is similar to my hundredths flat, okay? It is one whole. It's one whole dollar. Just like this was one whole flat. Okay, so we're going to say it equals 1. Alright, so a dime is blank of a dollar. If I have a dollar and I say a dime is blank of a dollar, how many dimes does it take to make $1? It takes 10. So I could say a dime is 1/10 of a dollar. Likewise, I could hold a dollar and I could hold a little penny. And I could say a penny is blank to a dollar, or is blank of a dollar. How many pennies would it take to make a dollar? It would take 100. So I could say 1 penny is 1/100th of a dollar. Okay? So thinking about money can help us with our decimals. Let's look at this example right here. It says $9.75. They want us to tell how many dollars, dimes, and pennies that is worth or equal to. So how many dollars do I have in $9.75? I have $9. So next I'm looking at dimes. How much is a dime worth? A dime is worth 10 cents. Each dime is 1/10 of that dollar. So it is similar to my tenths place. So how many dimes would I need? I would need 7 dimes. Okay, now how many pennies? Well, remember we said our pennies are like our hundredths. So if I already have 7 dimes, I have 70 cents. How many pennies would I need? I would need 5 pennies. Okay? And just to go back real quick, because I didn't cover this, it is also important that you know how to read a decimal, a number with a decimal. So we don't read this 1.25 or 1.25. This decimal, when we read it as mathematicians, we'll say the word and. So this is 1 because it's one whole. So 1 and 25 hundredths. Okay? If I don't have anything in the hundredths place, I could say 1 and 2 tenths, because the 2 is in the tenths place. Okay? So let's go back to our example. We're going to do another example. I have $3.62, and it's wanting me to use dollars and pennies this time. So I'm going to look at my dollars. My dollar is a whole. It comes before the decimal. How many dollars do I have? I have $3. Now, this is a little different because last time we did dimes. We said the tenths place is like dimes. But this question does not want to know how many dimes I would need. It wants to know, let's say I only had pennies. How many pennies would I need to make 62 cents? I would need 62 pennies because each penny is worth 1 cent. So I can also think of it in hundredths instead of saying 9 and 7 tenths and 5 hundredths. I could say 3 and 62 hundredths. Okay? So that is a quick lesson on using money to help us understand decimals.